Yo, what's up guys? Jiqui here. Today we're going to be breaking down pop rocks off my new Death of the Hero EP, which is out now on Sounds of Mayhem. If you haven't heard it yet, go listen to it so you can get familiar with the tune. And yeah, we're going to break down the project, the sound design, everything, what goes into making the sweet, sweet dubstep noise. Without further ado, let's get right into it. The way I like to set my Ableton template up is I have everything grouped like this, and everything is routed through a bus, which is a shaper box, and then it's triggered by a ghost MIDI channel. So that's how I set my sidechain up. That's why I have these MIDI notes up here. For the intro is pretty basic. Just got some drums, just like some really basic hip hop drums, I guess. This Big White Beats kick, sounds like this, and then we have more hats. I have them slightly delayed using the track delay just so that they kind of have a little bit more swing. And then the snare, it's like a clap, which sounds like this. For these samples, I don't really have any post-processing on them because they're already really solid. It's kind of unnecessary to put any post-processing on them. And also the reason why some of this stuff is frozen is because I transferred this project from my MacBook, so the plugins obviously never load, but just we'll keep the stuff frozen so we can hear how it sounds. But yeah, so the drums are pretty basic. And obviously we're having the sidechain trigger up here as well. For the effects, I just have some pretty basic stuff. Just this one loop. I think it's like a splice loop or something. I don't know. And then an 808, which sounds like this. And then I have just an erosion on it to give it some noise. So in context. That's kind of just following the pattern of the brass. And I also have this guy. And I just have this EQ like boosting right here so it comes through in the mix a little more. And then for my mids group, I have this other loop right here. I just have some room reverb on it. For the brass, I think this is the brass. And then for the post-processing, I just have some room reverb, OTT, this bandpass rack, which basically just acts as like a filter, and then opens up near the end. Just a G clip on it, soft clipping it, and that's pretty much it. I think I have like a little bit of vocal chops in here as well, just a little offbeat, running it through a cabinet. So all together, and then for the vocal here as well, I'm not gonna unfreeze it because it needs the tape stop, but I just have some delay, bit crusher, and OTT, and it's just like a cut from like an acapella. Underground, break them down with the, and that's kind of repeating throughout the intro as well, all together. And then for the build up, I just have this riser. It's a Yeltron riser, and then this Reese, which is literally just two saw waves, and one of them is put up, one semitone. And then it's got some basic saturation, distortion, and then I'm low passing it, just so it's not taking up too much space. We got this sweep. I use it in like every song. Yeah, and then I'm just filtering the brass through, using an endless smile. And then I got this guy, which is like a little laser sound. And then this bass, which is kind of the main bass from the, or it's not, it's actually the sustain. We'll get into that a little more when we actually get into the drop. And just like another sweep here. Like a little kind of like horror sound, I guess. And then this laser on the pre-drop, so it sounds like this.
Break 'em down with the...
So for the pre-drop, or I guess the false drop, it sounds like this. Super simple melody. And then I have this like little, almost like a vengeance thing with some distortion without the amp. Just because I really wanted it to sound blown out. And then we also have this little laser again. So all together, that sounds like this. I have a couple effects right here. And then a little laser. And I think just have like this little vocal, a little stutter.
Come on!
So it's just a bunch of random little layers that kind of tie it together. When we play it all together.
Break 'em down with the...
So I'll just kind of go through the layers, show you the sound design. It's a pretty simple project, but this is what the drop drums sound like. Really basic. Just some more claps. Big white beats again. This one just has some reverb on it, transient shaping. And then on this one, I just have some transient shaping, a soothe, and then boosting a couple of the peaks on the clap. And then for the hats, they're also swung using the track delay, so it just gives the track more swing. This is an ominous cymbal, and then the same one from the intro. So the main bass, it sounds like this. So essentially, without any of the post-processing, and the patch itself is pretty basic. It's just two sine waves. One of them is pitched up, and then we have a scream low pass filter and then a reverb filter on the post-processing. And then we can just adjust the position of the sync. And kind of change it a little bit. Obviously it gets a little messy, so just kind of trying to find that sweet spot. And then for the actual post, we start things off with a G clip, this Stasic OTT disperser, some light reverb, Melda wave folder, which is just another distortion. Without the wave folder, I think it sounds pretty different. So the wave folder is definitely doing a lot to give it that crunch. I mean, this still sounds like a sick patch even without the wave folder, but I just wanted to have the sound be like super crunchy, so I put the wave folder. Then an EQ, another G clip, endless smile for reverb throws. I guess another endless smile, and then we have this ozone imager right here. We're doing some stereo imaging on like the low mid, high mid ish area, just making it a little bit more stereo without this. Just kind of helping out with the stereo. And then right here, I just am splitting the frequencies, and then I'm using a kilohertz stereo to just make it a little bit wider on the top end. That's pretty much it. And then I have a redux. I think that's more for transitional stuff. But yeah, it sounds like this. But yeah, it's pretty dope sound. It's pretty simple when you break it down. It's just kind of doing the same melody as the brass was, so it's just going up one note. And then I also have this guy, which is like, I think it's just like a little zappy sound, and it's just following this, so it's kind of giving some texture. And then I think that's really the two main layers. And I also have this guy, which is like another laser thing. It's like really similar to that other sound. And then, which is also the sound from the intro. And then this reverse sweep. Yeah, and then I have this guy. Just some glitches. It's like a cut. And I just kind of took the one part that I liked vocal to go into the next part. And I have that offbeat chant again. So for this is the same patch. It says Tine and Clap because I was originally going to use the space for a new Tine and Clap, but I ended up just making this out of it. But it's basically just the same patch, just modified into a sustain. I can unfreeze it, but I think it'll sound different. Yeah, it's really the same patch. Again, just engineered to be a sustain. But with the VSTs, it sounds a lot different, but of course that's the problem from switching from Mac to PC. And then I grouped this and ran it on a Soothe and then an EQ. And then I have the party starter flip sub, which is just this, and then this EQ, so the sub sounds like this. Pretty simple. And then I have like a couple more different background effects. And then this reverse vocal using an auto pan. I just have like a compressor on it. And then I have these lasers again doing like a little bit of a different rhythm. Some texture layers for the fills. Yeah, just kind of trying to make the fills sound a little bit better by layering like textures and whatnot underneath them. Yeah, and then this one just goes higher. Yeah, it's really simple. And I just have this glitch again, just bringing it in through a filter. And the intro is pretty much just copy paste. And for the second drop, it's pretty simple. It's literally just the exact same patch, just modified differently. And then I'm just controlling the rhythm by using a macro on the LFO speed, which is how I pretty much always make my flow with something that's in Serum. Exact same post-processing. It's mainly just adjusting that position of the sync and the reverb filter. And same thing with the sustain. I'm just using a frequency shifter this time to change the pitch. And then I'm using this as like a subtle layer in the background. Yeah, that's honestly it. It's really simple. It's honestly just copy, paste, drop. I just changed one of the patches. I guess also the sustain as well. Yeah, hope this helped you guys and was informative. If you haven't yet, stream the new EP. It's out now. Sounds of Mayhem, Death of the Hero. Love you guys. Peace.